Okay, it's 7 o'clock. So if we could call the planning commission meeting to order. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we please have the roll call?
Matt Hansen,
Here.
Ben Terrell,
Here.
Lisa Lewitsky,
Here.
Ray Whitaker,
Here.
Ed Kemp, Tim Catron,
Here.
Zachary Dillinger,
Here.
Frank Holmes,
Here.
Brian Ross.
Here. Thank you. Have the proper notices been posted and sent?
They have.
Thank you. What are your wishes for the agenda this evening?
Move the agenda. Support.
We have a motion and support to approve the September 2nd agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Okay. What are your wishes for the minutes of July 8th?
Move to approve.
Support.
We have a motion support. Any discussion?
I have one on page 3, paragraph 5. Mr. Sweetman is the director and chair of the Eaton Conservation District. The proper name is the Eaton Conservation District. That's it.
You guys okay with? Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Motion carries. This time on the agenda, there is a time for public portion of comments. We have that also later on in the agenda, if anybody would like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda this evening. Okay, seeing none, we'll move into conditional use permits and DCAs. If we could have the staff report for CU-9-25-5, please.
A request for vertical bridge for a conditional use permit to allow for construction of a telecommunication tower per section 14.27 of the zoning ordinance at 4181 South Ionia Road, section 4 of Bellevue Township. The property is 12.75 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural. The current land use and site use history is residential and agricultural. Surrounding is zoned limited agricultural, and the site use and land use history is residential and agricultural. The soil class for the property is essential. The surrounding soil class is essential and non-essential. South Ionia Road is a major road. The applicant is requesting to construct a 195-foot communication tower with a 4-foot lightning rod. Construction is proposed to begin in the fall of 2026. They state the site will be unmanned with occasional maintenance. The applicant states there's a small pond located on the property to the east. The applicant states that a driveway is proposed to be created off from West 5 Point Highway. The proposed driveway will not be paved and will not have curb and gutter. One parking space will be provided. Supplies will be brought to the site by light delivery trucks. The applicant states this request should be granted because the proposed telecommunication tower site complies with Eaton County land use policies according to section 9.3 of the ordinance regarding new cell phone towers. And the additional public cost for the facility will not be detrimental to the economic well-being of the community. There will be no on-site sanitation, sewage, water, or waste. As the property will be in an agricultural district, it will not greatly affect the existing land use or natural features or planned character of the area. After construction, there will be no traffic except for monthly maintenance van. Due traffic will not significantly or adversely impact the road system. The application was sent out for site plan review. The Eaton County Road Commission responded. I've reviewed the CUP and find no impact to the county roads. The CUP should require a commercial driveway to be constructed and a permit obtained from the Eaton County Road Commission. The request was approved by the Barre Eaton District Health Department and Bellevue Township Fire Department. The Eaton Conservation District responded. The Eaton Conservation District Board of Directors discussed the application at the regular board meeting. The board has no concerns about this application. 7 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No responses were received at the writing of the staff report. Zoning ordinance section 14.27 is included with your staff report. The property's master plan is agricultural preservation. The policies applicable are located on page 5 of the staff report. Staff comments, a communication tower is a use permitted in a limited ag zoned area with a conditional use permit. Vertical Bridge has written approval from the property owner, Brett Maldry, to apply for the proposed use of the property. Per section 14.74D, this application was sent to RF Systems Engineering Associates for expert review based on the expert review's report, see attached, the proposed communication tower meets all of the requirements of section 14.27. Therefore, the review recommends approval of the application. While the application states there are no existing driveway, there is a driveway located off from South Ionia Road that goes to the existing home located on the south portion of the property. The Planning Commission may wish to discuss the request of the Eaton County Road Commission regarding a commercial driveway permit to be obtained for the newly proposed driveway off from West 5 Point Highway. The Planning Commission may use section 9.3.6 and 14.27 included in the staff report to determine if this use meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff? Okay, seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and state their case. Randy, is the applicant here?
My name is Mark Barnes. I work for Telecade Engineering on behalf of Vertical Bridge and Verizon Wireless, who will be the initial carrier on this tower. As the staff report stated, I think we've met all the criteria, ordinances, and anything else that's required. If we hadn't, Brandy certainly would have let me know for sure. Beyond that, I don't know what else to say. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Is there any questions of the applicant?
Yeah.
Please.
What brand of tower is it
me?
manufactured? Was the manufacturer of the tower steel itself?
I would have to guess. I can't say for sure. There are about 3 or 4 manufacturers that they
Right.
utilize.
I just wonder which one, which style it was.
Oh, what type? What type of tower or the manufacturer itself?
Manufacturer, that'd tell me a lot if I just know who it was. Not important.
I can't say for sure. It hasn't even been ordered yet.
Oh, it's just my background, so I was just curious.
Oh, really? Okay.
1,000-footers mostly,
Okay. No, I can't say for sure. We're not to that point yet.
yeah.
Any other, sure, Scott.
Yes, I have a question. I would assume that that will be fenced in to keep people out of the area?
6-foot fence with 3 strands of barbed wire on the top.
Okay. And then, is there any emissions that will be given off to local residents as far as like affecting their TV signal or cell service or something too?
Well, we hope to affect the cell service, like actually bring some. That's the point. As far as affecting televisions, it certainly shouldn't. I've never seen, well, they don't operate on the same frequencies, so no, there shouldn't be any issues. Affecting the residents, I can't imagine that being an issue either.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Sure.
Is the height, so it's lighted, what is the lighting on it? I know some towers have the
Yeah,
strobe.
this one's 195 with a 4-foot lightning rod on it, which puts it at 199 above grade.
So,
Federal requirement is it has to be lit if it's 200 or over.
okay, you got that one figured out, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I've had these guys go up and cut 6 inches off just to make sure it's right too.
I could tell you a story about one up in Henrietta, Michigan.
Yeah, some crazy stuff that goes on.
Scott.
I thought in the reading of the information it mentioned a 8-foot lightning rod.
No, I believe it's 4.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners. Sure, Lisa.
Yeah, as the area rep, I am glad to see a cell tower going in there. And that is the edge of a very big dead zone, and I think it'll be helpful. And I drive past there quite often. The field that it's going in, I think it's a great position for one. So I'm all in favor of it right now.
Any other discussion?
I guess just about the driveway, why would the road commission ask for a commercial driveway permit on this?
The vehicles that go in and out for the time that the tower is being constructed are heavy duty. So the purpose of that is to protect the edge of the existing roadway.
For the construction, but not necessarily for the maintenance?
Correct.
Any other questions, discussion? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve CU 9-25-5.
We have a motion support. Any further discussion? Seeing none, could we get a roll call vote, please?
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Lisa Lewitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes. All set? Randy, help you out with anything you need after
Clark,
this?
you've been approved, so I'll send an email to Olivia tomorrow letting her know what that looks like. Thank you.
Next, if we could have the staff report for CU-9-25-6, please.
A request by Michael Risco and Nadia Visved, I just butchered her name, for that I'm sorry, for a conditional use permit to operate a commercial recreation facility, rental venue for weddings, events, etc., as defined in zoning ordinance section 5.3.3C at 58 Danford Lane, section 15, Eden Rapids Township. The site is 18.95 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural. The surrounding zoning is also limited agricultural. The land use and site use history is residential and agricultural, as is the surrounding. I do apologize, there is not a distressed vehicle transporter in the area. The soil class is essential and non-essential, and Island Highway is a major road. Danford Lane is a private road. It specifically is a legal, non-conforming private road. The applicants request a conditional use permit to operate in an event venue for weddings, birthdays, corporate events, etc., with a capacity of 99 people. The proposed business will be in operation 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. The proposed business will have 2 employees who will serve as parking attendants and will be on-site during events only. The applicants propose to construct a 3-foot by 5-foot post-frame breezeway to connect an existing bunker to the existing barn that will be used for the business. The existing barn proposed to be used for the business is 51 by 38 by 40, 1,938 square feet. The building will have a foyer, dining room, bathroom, powder room, and prep room. The applicant has included a floor plan of the space with the application identified as attachment B. The applicant states there's a pond located on the property. In addition, the Barrett Drain is located 135 feet from the south property line. The applicant states an existing Type 3 well will be used for the business. A new septic and drain field will be installed for the business. The applicants have included a copy of the permits from the Barre Eaton District Health Department. The applicants state they will contract with Granger for trash receptacles. Items to be stored on site include lawn maintenance equipment and venue supplies such as tables and chairs. The applicant states there is one driveway to the site from a public street. It is paved but does not have curb and gutter. They are proposing to upgrade to Danford Lane entrance as shown on the attached plans identified as E1 through E4. Anticipated traffic to the site is approximately 25 vehicles per event, mostly on the weekends. Parking is proposed for 25 vehicles. The parking area will be lit with portable lighting, but will not be paved. The applicant states supplies will be brought to the site by light delivery trucks and the owner's pickup truck. Applicant states this request should be granted because we believe the venue will be a welcome addition to the Eaton Rapids community. It will provide a scenic, tranquil setting for a wide array of community gatherings. See attached proposed contract on attachment F. The application was sent out for site plan review. It was approved by the Barry Eaton District Health Department. Eaton Rapids Township approved with comment. The board met and voted to accept CU 925-6 with recommendation that fences are erected as follows. South side, 7-foot privacy fence. East side, 7-foot privacy fence or equivalent. An example, 3-foot natural berm. Natural landscaping with 4-foot fence. West side, 3 to 5-foot fence to shield light and for safety for neighbors. We also suggest a letter from the neighbors approving the fence. Eaton Conservation District commented. The Eaton Conservation District Board of Directors discussed the application at their regular board meeting. The board has no concerns about the application. Eaton County Road Commission commented after the staff report was written. I've reviewed the above-mentioned CUP application and find that Danford Lane is a private road. However, the Danford Lane approach at Island Highway does not meet current commercial driveway standards and is not sufficient to support the proposed improvement. I recommend the CUP include the requirement that the Danford Lane approach be reconstructed to meet Eaton County Road Commission commercial driveway standards, and that the proprietor be required to obtain a commercial driveway permit from the Eaton County Road Commission. The permit may require the removal or trimming of bushes or trees on the side of the driveway to provide sufficient sight distance. With that comment, I have no objections. The applicant is already proposing in their application to meet these requirements and has provided drawings to do such. The 9 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. 1 response was received from the neighboring property owner, Kyle and Shay David. They are the ones that the Eaton Rapids Township Board is recommending fencing and landscaping around. It says, "Dear members of the Planning Board, we are writing a response to your request for input on the fencing and landscaping requirements for the proposed venue project. First, we want to thank you for the thoughtful consideration you've given to balance the township's requirements with the needs of both the project and our home. We understand the township's goal of ensuring privacy, security, and minimize disruption. While we appreciate the intent behind the proposed fencing plan, we would like to respectfully suggest a preference for natural landscaping solutions wherever possible, supplemented by fencing only where necessary. Our specific requests and feedback: 1, west side private road. We agree a natural barrier of trees and shrubs would be more effective and visually appealing solution than a short privacy fence. In fact, we have already placed a line of trees along this side, which we believe will provide sufficient coverage. For this reason, we do not feel additional fencing is necessary. At most, minimal lighting for visual driveway aid would be more practical and effective solution for addressing headlight concerns while still preserving the natural landscape. To strengthen specifically, we are requesting the planting of 6 additional Norway spruces, approximately 3 to 15 feet tall, 3+ years old, to match the current landscaping we already have in place. Item 2, the south border parking area. We understand the need for separation between the parking area and our home. While the privacy fence could address this, we would prefer a combination of natural landscaping, evergreen trees, and large shrubs with a modest height fencing if necessary, rather than a solid 7-foot fence. This would provide privacy and safety while keeping the landscaping open and visually pleasing. We have attached a photo of the fencing we are requesting specifically for this area. Item 3, for the east side, we specifically request a solid 7-foot privacy fence in front of the asphalt that directly touches our property line by the barn. We do not feel it is necessary to have any fencing or landscaping north of the asphalt. This focused approach provides privacy and screening where it is most impactful without intruding unnecessarily on structures. We have attached a photo of the fencing we're requesting specifically for this area. Closing request. In summary, we are in favor of a robust natural landscaping, evergreen shrubs, berms, supplemented by a targeted fencing only where necessary for safety and privacy. We believe this approach achieves the township's objectives while also preserving the natural beauty of the property and maintaining a neighborly environment. Thank you for your time and consideration. We are happy to work with the township and venue representatives to ensure a solution that meets everyone's needs. Sincerely, Kyle and Shade David. Zoning ordinance definition for a commercial rec facility is in fact included in the staff report. The property is master planned as agricultural preservation, and the intent, location criteria, preferred land uses is on page 3. Staff comments, a commercial rec facility is a permitted use in a limited ag zone district with a conditional use permit. Danford Lane is an approved private road that services 3 parcels. The 2 properties located to the south of the applicant's property are vacant. The applicants are proposing to upgrade the entrance of Danford Lane based on their conversation with the Eaton County Road Commission. The applicants are aware the private road upgrade application is required to be submitted to our department prior to the proposed upgrades. The applicant in their application state there is one existing driveway located off from the public street. The existing drive is Danford Lane. There are 2 driveways located off from Danford Lane. The existing driveway to the building proposed for the business that will be used for the business, the existing driveway to the building proposed for the business that will be used for the business. In addition, a 3rd driveway off from Danford Lane is proposed for the parking area. The 3rd driveway is in fact the one that goes to their existing home. The applicants are aware of the site plan review comments from Eaton Rapids Township regarding fencing. At the writing of this report, staff has not received a letter from the neighboring property owner regarding the recommended fencing. The Planning Commission may wish to discuss the fencing recommendations with the applicants. It is recommended if any additional fencing is required above what the applicants have proposed on their site plan, that a new site plan with required fencing, berms, landscaping is submitted to the department. Per the zoning ordinance, parking requirements for a commercial rec facility are 1 space for every 4 persons of maximum occupancy. Per the application, the facility will have a maximum occupancy of 99 people. This would require 25 parking spaces. Per the application, 25 parking spaces will be provided. The site plan shows 26 parking spaces. The parking area meets zoning ordinance requirements. The applicants show a proposed 12 by 2 foot sign with a height of 8 foot outside the Island Highway and Danford Lane right-of-way on their site plan. The proposed sign complies with zoning ordinance requirements. The Planning Commission may wish to use Section 9.3.6 and 5.3.3C included in the staff report to determine if the business meets the ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff? Seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and state their case or address anything that need be.
Good evening. My name is Mike Risco, Nadia Vizueta, my wife. Thank you for your time this evening. We've been working with Brandy and Tammy for the last several months, many months, to get to this point this evening. I guess really the only thing that we wanted to address, and we'll answer any questions, of course, is the fencing issue. We're really pleased that the letter that Mr. and Mrs. David submitted is really, I would say, very, very close to our wishes. From the very beginning, we're trying to be very respectful to them, to their family, to their young children, and to try to come up with a solution that's good for both of us. The plot plan that we submitted, there's really three lanes, if you will. As Brandy had indicated, the Danford Lane private road, their proposal is 100% acceptable to us. If this board approves that, that's totally fine with us. The south side, which is the barrier to the parking lot, also, their proposal, their meeting, Mr. and Mrs. David, was to have like a split rail fence and also some shrubs. That's 100% fine with us if this board is okay with that. The only slight derivation I'd like to add is along that southern fencing area, the border there, if you will, the easternmost point close to the shed, the barn, I'd like to propose, or we would like to propose, an L-shaped privacy fence just in that corner. It would not it would not infringe upon Mr. and Mrs. David's view from their home because it's behind their garage. So the scenery and the visually appealing aspect that they referenced in their letter would not be, let's say, negatively affected by this. My goal, though, is to try to cover up, they have a lot of equipment and, tractors and lawnmowers and things of that nature for their property, of course. I'd like to shield that to make it a little bit more visually appealing for our project. And then on the asphalt drive, again, they propose that there would be a privacy fence on the asphalt drive. I'd like to propose that it goes down just a little bit further than just the asphalt driveway. When I say a little bit further, maybe 40 feet. My thought is I'd like to give a barrier from their home to the business. They have young children. The asphalt pavement alone does not cover up their driveway. If we go down a little bit, 40 feet, let's say, it would just provide a more of a safety border for their family. If you look at the plot plan, the whole distance is 210 feet to Island Highway. If we go another 40 to 50 feet, that's certainly, it's not a long portion of it. Maybe that would be a compromise. But in general, I'm happy that it's, Mr. and Mrs. David have put forward a proposal that's less restrictive than what the township board meeting had recommended, which is nice. Again, the township board was asking for a full privacy fence, and Kyle and Shay came back with, hey, we'd like to have a split rail fence. So, I think we're close to an agreement. But whatever this board feels is necessary, and hopefully in agreement with Kyle and Shay, we're certainly amenable to that. I did all the talking, sorry. Do you have anything else to add?
No, my husband pretty much articulated some of my thoughts, so I'm just gonna leave it there if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, we'll be more than happy to answer questions on this. I think this is the biggest issue, of course.
Any questions for the applicant? Sure, Tim.
So the plot plan
Yes, sir.
shows a 180.5 foot long fence just north of the parking lot
Correct.
and a 211.5 foot long fence between your venue and the neighbors. So you're proposing to cut those fences, the length down.
Yeah, so my proposal is, let's take the 180 first.
Okay?
After the township board meeting with Mr. Wilson and his colleagues, their proposal was a privacy fence along the whole 180 feet. We asked Kyle and Shay what their input was, and they came back saying, hey, we really more like natural berm and a split rail fence. So my proposal is I'm okay with Kyle and Shay, a split rail fence, with exception of just that easternmost part, which is where they keep, again, their equipment. And I'll add that, if I had to put a number on it, it's about 40 feet. So let's say a quarter of that whole 180, long length there. That quarter is backed up by their garage also, so it would not infringe upon the view of their home, which I think is something that's important to them, and I understand that. So if we did a compromise, just, again, 40 feet, let's say, on that easternmost part, it would be a nice barrier for the equipment that they have, and it would not negatively affect their view, which is important to them. On the other road, the 211, as you referenced, sir, the first part of it there, you'll see the diagram, which is the asphalt driveway. And then, the whole distance is 211. But if we take the asphalt driveway and a little bit further than that, the whole thing might be half of the 211 instead of going all the way to Island Highway, or maybe a little bit less than half. I did not measure that before tonight's meeting. But, somewhere in that halfway point or a little bit less than that. So this plot plan was drawn up, of course, before the township board meeting. So that's what the original proposal was, but that's our rebuttal, if you will.
Okay, then on the portions of that privacy fence that it won't be there anymore, you're talking about a berm and a split rail fence?
So when you say I see, the privacy fence that won't be there anymore, so yeah, on the 180.5 you're speaking of, correct?
Yes.
So yes, the other 3/4 of that, we're open to whatever the suggestion is. It sounds like Kyle and Shay are interested in a split rail fence or a combination of, shrubs, and we're okay with either of those. I guess we could work with them, and if it's all split rail or all shrubs, it's okay with us. So I don't know if in this approval process, if you tell us what it is, or if we go back and work with them, but either of those answers is fine with us.
Okay, thank you.
I think at a minimum, we're going to need to see a new site plan with this proposed fencing. I mean, I would want to see that, or at least have staff review that new site plan.
Staff would be comfortable reviewing that site plan upon the direction of the planning commission, giving, this is what he needs to have.
Any other questions? Sure. Frank?
Were the provisions, I was reading to you a little earlier about the sound that would be there, in the evening and whatever is there. I remember it was a decibel limit maximum. Is that monitored by you or the family there in that neighboring thing?
So that would be monitored by us. We would have equipment to be able to check that, and we would be able to control the volume or shut it off completely if we were to even actually come close to that. I mean, I'm a mom, we're a mom too, parents, and I don't like loud noises anyway, so we would make sure to stay below that.
So
Yeah, and
are
I
they-
think there's also a time that we could not surpass, and we would adhere to that, of
Yeah.
course, yes.
It would be complete silence, meaning all music off at the township's requirements, making sure that, there'd be no more DJ or musical equipment or anything like that going at that time.
So are the neighbors aware of the level of noise? Do they recognize what that figure, 90 decibels or whatever it is, how much that is? Are they going to be comfortable with that?
So we've spoken with our neighbors about this project many times.
Yeah, but I'm just asking, are they aware of what the level of sound is? On paper, it says 90 decibels. Do they know how loud 90 is?
I'm not sure, sir.
So that's a question, would they be complaining at that level? So
Yeah,
we
I'm
don't
not
know
sure
the,
if
we don't have the answer, okay.
yeah, I do not know, sir. No.
Any other questions of the applicant? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application?
Scott Wilson, Supervisor for Eaton Rapids Township. Our board is in favor of this wholeheartedly. The biggest thing we wanted to do is protect the house that this property surrounds, because it's a very unique situation and a very unique property. So fences supposedly make good neighbors, but I mean, if you put a privacy fence around the whole property, it's gonna kill every aesthetic of this house to, meet certain standards of the venue, whereas we would like to have the venue. Different fence options were talked about many, many times at our board meeting regarding what direction to go. Is it consensus from our board? The property line along Danford Lane, they talked about something like a 3 to 4 foot fence, to shield headlights was the logic behind that. Currently both families have kids, so part of it was a fence would help prevent children from being in the yard, run out, for any traffic. With the obvious taller fence along the parking area, to shield the traffic and just create that privacy. We made our recommendations, but we're not set in stone on any one fence option, any one certain thing to take place as far as what our board's discussed. There's a lot of different options out there that could be had. We made the recommendation of a berm, landscaping. I'm grateful, at our board meeting, we didn't have the support of the neighbor, so to have their letter come in and have their support with their wishes of the fences, I mean, that works out well. I would think, keep them happy for what they want. The only concern I would have, if they sell, someone else comes in, granted, they're buying something and it's due diligence to know there's a venue next to them. So, I mean, you can't expect a million changes for the new person that comes in. So I'm never met, someone wanting to put a venue in and be so accommodating to all neighbors and wanting to do whatever needs to take place. So my compliments to them for their willingness to do what needs to be done. From keeping privacy to keeping a view. When it was discussed at our board meeting about a privacy fence, they had asked maybe could do gates, so when it's not a venue time, the gates could be open and the neighbors still could have the view behind their property of all the neighbor, the open fields and so forth. So, I don't know if you guys have any questions for me or just kind of where we stood with everything, so.
So, are you comfortable that if we would go with the neighbor in the front's recommendations, that that's not gonna give the township?
Yes, we would, me personally, yes, and knowing what our board's discussed, that would meet everybody's wishes from our discussions that we had. So,
Other questions for Scott?
thank you.
Anyone else like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
So I'll start. I like that they were able to work cooperatively to iron this out. So my only question for staff would be if someone was to build a 7-foot tall wood fence, they wouldn't need any kind of permit. Is that correct?
The state building code requires any fence that is more than 7 feet above grade requires a building permit.
Any fence? Okay.
That's the building code, not the zoning ordinance.
Okay, so if somebody built a 6.5-foot tall fence, they could just build it.
Correct.
So I guess my only train of thought on that is that I respect the owner's, I guess, really right, not prerogative, really right to construct a fence where they feel like they need additional. I understand the loss of the view and landscape, but, it's still not. People buy a parcel with the thought that they're always going to have a certain view, and that's not necessarily the case, right? So, yeah, I think I like the collaborative solution they put forth here with the changes identified by the property owner to extend that fence a bit further in some areas where they see the need. I think that makes sense to me.
We're talking about the L-shaped fence, so that,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
just want to be clear. That's where I was at too.
Yep.
So. In agreement?
Do we need to put a number on that distance? I mean, he said he didn't measure, so I don't know what our process would be for that.
What do you say?
So what I have written down from his conversation, that it would be a quarter of the 180.5 on the south property line and half of the 211.5 on the east property line, the neighbor's east. So that's what I have written down, if the planning commission is comfortable with those numbers. Okay.
Exceed 105 feet on the east line and not to exceed whatever a quarter of 180 is. Okay.
We could ask for an updated site plan to
That's-
go to staff, just so that there's no squabbles between neighbors, it's all tied down.
Staff would appreciate that, because then that allows for an enforcement mechanism in the future. Say these owners no longer live in the home and somebody else buys the business, they get a change of conditions, we have clear direction. on the approved landscaping plan.
So I just think it's important to make a note too, this is a minimum, right? So they can add additional Norway spruces, and they can build additional fencing as long as it doesn't potentially conflict with the building code, which is a conversation we can have another time, but, I think, yeah, then, I mean, just, we set the minimum, right? And landowner can add additional features as they see necessary.
Not really.
I have one comment.
Sure, Frank.
We're talking about the 180, I think from the comments that he proposed, it's to keep it behind the garage so that from the house, they don't observe it. Instead of a minimum 1/4 of the distance, could it be a line of sight from the house? Not all their property, but just from their house to cover that. I mean, line of sight is line of sight.
I think that the fence was to hide their equipment in the neighbor's property. That's the way I took it.
It's to hide the neighbor's equipment and their garage on that south property line, not the house.
No, I'm not saying blocking the house. I mean, the sight from the house, he didn't want to intrude in that, but still cover from the venue's point of view. But I'm asking about the view from the house towards past the garage. So they see their garage, but not the fence.
The fence for the site of the house was on the east property line, the shared east and west property line. The south property line was to hide the neighbor's garage and their lawn maintenance equipment.
Any other discussion? None, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve CU-9-25-6, provided there's an updated site plan for review by the staff.
We have a motion, support. Any further discussion?
Do we need to specify those numbers?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Can I amend?
Sure.
Okay. I would amend Ray's motion to include split rail fencing along the south side, that 180, up to 3/4 of that distance, with the remaining quarter to be a privacy fence, whether it's 7 feet tall or 6.5 feet tall. Privacy fencing on that corner, so that would be roughly 45 feet. And then on the east side, 105 feet of privacy fencing from that corner to cover the asphalt and the garage and equipment of the neighbor, with a minimum of 6 Norway spruces to be planted alongside the west property line, minimum of 6 trees.
Norway spruce?
That's what they asked for, so why not?
Okay, so we had that in the support. Who supported that?
I made it.
Tim supported it. You okay with the amended?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Lisa Lewitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Your conditional use permit request was approved. If you could call the office to get on my calendar, we'll look at your site plan and how to articulate the landscaping plan to be reviewed and approved, so you can move forward.
Thank you. When staff is ready, if we could have the staff report for CU-9-25-7, please.
A request by Ben and Carol Yetzi for a conditional use permit to allow for operation of an agricultural business, grain and feed sales per section 14.1 of the zoning ordinance at 1827 North Angel Road, section 6, Carmel Township. The site is 118.05 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural. Surrounding zoning is also limited agricultural. The land use and site use history is residential and agricultural, as is the surrounding land use and site use history. The soil class is essential. North Angel Road is not a major road. The applicants are requesting a conditional use permit to operate an agricultural business to include the sale of grain and feed with tools and workwear. Hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No employees are planned at this time, but they may have up to 2 employees in the future. The applicant proposes to construct an 80 by 96 by 16, 7,680 square foot stud frame building for the business. None of the existing buildings located on the property are proposed to be used for the business. The applicant states there is a pond located on their property. The Tice drain is located in the southwest property line. The applicant state the existing well, septic, and drain field located on the property will be used. Customers will use the restroom located in the home. They state trash service is provided by Republic. The applicant state there is one existing driveway to the property. It is not paved and does not have curb and gutter. Anticipated traffic to the site is 10 vehicles per day. Parking is proposed for 10 vehicles. The parking area will not be lit or paved. Supplies will be brought to the site by 1 semi-truck per month. The applicant states they have an existing conditional use permit, CU 6213, which allows for the operation of a home business. The applicant states this request should be granted because the proposed business is in line with our current dairy farm operations and the support of other local farmers. It should not negatively impact the surrounding area. The application was sent out for site plan review. The building official commented, the proposed structure is required to be designed by a licensed design professional, architect, engineer. With proper permits and inspections, there are no objections to the approval of this request. The Barry Eaton District Health Department approved the request. The Charlotte Fire Department commented, we have reviewed the minor site plan review request for Ben and Carol Yetzi to operate a grain and feed sales business from their property. We do not have any issues with the proposed business or the application. Carmel Township approved the request. The Eaton Conservation District commented, the Eaton Conservation District Board of Directors discussed the application at the regular board meeting. The board has no concerns about the application. 9 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No responses were received. Zoning Ordinance Section 14.1, agricultural business, is included in the staff report for the Planning Commission's review. The property is master planned as agricultural preservation. The intent, location, criteria, and preferred uses is listed on page 2 and 3 of the staff report. Staff comments. An agricultural business is permitted in a limited agriculturally zoned district with a conditional use permit. The applicants have an existing conditional use permit, CU 6213, that was approved by the Planning Commission in 2021 that allows for the operation of a manufactured laminated post business as a home business. A copy of the existing conditional use permit is included with the application. To date, we have not received any complaints regarding the operation of the business. Parking requirements according to the zoning ordinance for grain and feed elevators are 1 for every 2 employees. Per the application and site plan, parking is proposed for 10 vehicles. The applicant shows a proposed 24 square foot sign located on the outside of the North Angel Road right-of-way on their site plan. The size and location of the sign meets zoning ordinance requirements. The Planning Commission may wish to ask the applicant the height of the proposed sign. Per the zoning ordinance, the maximum height of the sign is 8 feet. The Planning Commission may use Section 9.3.6 and 14.1 included in the staff report to determine if the business meets zoning ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. In addition, I did receive a site plan review response from the Road Commission. I've reviewed the above-mentioned CUP application and find no impacts to county roads. The existing driveway is sufficient to support a commercial business. And that completes the staff report.
Questions for staff? Seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and state their case or add on to that if wanted.
Hi, thank you for what you do for the county, and thank you for hearing our case tonight. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. We do look hopeful if this meeting goes well, and we do go forward with this to serve the Eaton County local area. We do like to participate with 4-H affairs. Yeah, I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
Will the height of your 24 square foot sign be 8 foot or less?
Height,
Yes,
it can be however you want it. We haven't built it yet.
8 foot or
So, yeah, 8 foot or less, correct. Yeah. You were talking about the height, correct? Yeah.
What, I guess, what are some of the tools and workwear you're planning on selling there too?
Such as, per se, DeWalt, Milwaukee impacts, things that would benefit farmers, such as, any tools a farmer could use for his shop, if that makes sense.
Are you gonna grind and mix feed on site?
No, we will purchase everything bagged.
Bagged.
Yes. Basically, we'll just transfer the feed. It may be good to note, this business is an existing business, a couple hundred feet down the road, just changing, it's my grandpa's business, changing ownership and moving it down the road a little bit. So I don't feel like we'll be adding a lot of extra traffic to the area.
Any other questions of the applicant? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
I'm in favor of this. I just have one question. So does someone need to get a building permit for an 8-foot tall sign?
The sign requires a building permit regardless of the height of it.
Really?
Yep.
Any sign that we permit needs to get a building permit?
For the building code, not the
Okay.
zoning ordinance.
Okay.
Yell at Chris if you don't like it.
Oh, that's good for my,
For clarification, the state of Michigan building code, not the Eaton County building code.
Not the Chris's building code?
Don't yell at Chris.
I'll move, okay, sorry.
I'm sorry.
So where you were going with the tools and workwear, I don't know. How do we classify that as a farm product?
usually just, you ever been to one? It's usually just
yeah.
hand tools,
I get that,
hand power
but
tools.
I understand that, it's just not necessarily in the code as a permitted use, that's why I ask.
Do you have anything to say to that, Brandy? I see you looking at me. Of course you do.
Staff does not have an issue with the definition of an agricultural business or what they are proposing to utilize the building for.
We'll see you 9:25:7.
We have a motion support. Any further discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Lisa Lowitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Mr. Yetsey, your request has been approved. Your next step is to come up with your sealed drawings for your building and submit them for plan review. You're very welcome.
When you are ready, if we could get the staff report for DCA-9-25-2, please.
Request by Raymond Charles for a district change amendment to change the zoning of property located at 2334 South Michigan Road from local business to general business. Local business C1 to general business C2. The property is located in section 26 of Eaton Rapids Township. The site is 1.60 acres. The zoning is currently local business C1. The surrounding zoning is local business C1, general business C2, limited agricultural, and low-density residential. The land use and use history is RV sales and repair. Surrounding is residential, agricultural, and commercial. There's rental storage, bank, a commercial contractor's establishment, just several businesses. Soil class is non-essential for both the existing property and surrounding. South Michigan Road, M99, is a major road. Applicant statement. In summary, the applicant requests to change the zoning of the subject parcel from local business C1 to general business C2. The applicant states the purpose and reason for his request as, I closed on the ownership of the property with PK Auto Body Repair on July 17, 2025. P&K was approved for operation of their business in 1974. They are a legal nonconformity. I would like to operate my well-established auto body sales and repair business, Island Auto Body, from this property. To do so, I need the property to be rezoned to general business so I can apply for my conditional use permit. The applicant states the specific reason for the amendment request as, while my business is similar to the existing business, I cannot operate my business under their legal nonconforming status. I have purchased the property. I need the property rezoned so I can apply for my conditional use permit for the operation of my business. The applicant states identifiable conditions related to this petition that have changed since the adoption of the Eaton County Land Development Code on October 13th of 1981, which justify the proposed amendment as P&K was approved for operation in 1974 prior to the 1981 Eaton County Land Development Code. The applicant states an error was made in the original ordinance which justifies the proposed amendment. Provisions could have been made to ensure the conformity of the existing approved business as changes were made to the ordinance. The applicant states the property cannot be put to a reasonable economic use as it now stands under the ordinance. The property has been used as a body shop, repair facility, and sales lot since 1974. To change the property to another use would be difficult. The applicant states he does not anticipate any impacts to the adjacent roads, county drains, public schools. My business is the same as is currently operating from the property and has since 1974. There will be no negative impact to the environment or surrounding properties, or neighboring properties. The application was sent out for site plan review. MDOT commented, "Thank you for sending the site plan review for DCA 925-2 Raymond Charles to MDOT for review. MDOT does not have any comments on the rezoning request." The Eaton County Road Commission commented, "This parcel only has access to a state truck line, so there are no impacts to the Eaton County roads." Eaton Rapids Township approved with comment. The Township Board met regarding DCA 925-2 and approved a motion to recommend the change as is. The Eaton Conservation District commented. The Eaton Conservation District Board of Directors discussed the application at their regular meeting. The board has no concerns about the application. 10 surrounding property owners were notified by first class mail. No responses were received. Included in the staff report are zoning ordinance section 7.5A, local business C1, and 7.5B, general business C2, so the Planning Commission can see the uses allowed in both zoning districts. The property is master planned as general business, so it's currently zoned local business. He's requesting it to be zoned general business. It's master planned for general business. The Planning Commission, when making a recommendation, shall go through the items under Article 13.6, which is located on page 5 of the staff report. Items A through G must be addressed in any motion regarding this application. Staff comments. The applicant and current owner of the property, Mr. Raymond Charles, is requesting to rezone his property from local business C1 to general business C2. Mr. Charles owns an auto repair and sales business. He would like to move to this property. To do so, the property would need to be rezoned to general business C2. Mr. David Pennell, one of the original owners of PK Auto Body Repair, Inc., purchased the property, an existing commercial garage and trail sales business, from Pharma, Inc. in 1974. On August 14th of 1974, Mr. Pennell received a conditional use permit for the added operation of a paint and buff shop from this property. The property has been zoned commercially since the enactment of the zoning ordinance in 1959. From 1959 through 1999, the zoning ordinance only had one commercial zoning district. In 2000, the zoning ordinance was amended to create two separate commercial zoning districts, local business C1 and general business C2. There are no records to indicate why the subject parcel was given the local business C1 zoning classification rather than the general business C2 zoning classification. Due to the zoning ordinance amendment in 2000, P&K Auto Body Repair, more commonly known as P&K RV Sales, has been operating as a legal nonconformity. Per zoning ordinance section 12.2.2, a legal nonconformity is defined as an existing use of land, lot, or structure which does not fully comply with the provisions of this ordinance as amended, and either was lawfully established, created, or commenced during a period of time when no valid zoning ordinance was in effect or lawfully established under the jurisdiction of this ordinance, or provisions or previously valid county ordinance, and remains in compliance with the terms of the permit issued at that time. Zoning ordinance section 9.4.3, assignment of conditional use permit approval states, conditional use permit approval shall not be assigned to new or different ownership entities without prior approval of the Planning Commission. Mr. Charles's business would be considered a new and used vehicle, boat, farm, implement dealer as provided in section 14.17 of the zoning ordinance, and a parking or commercial garage as provided in 14.19 of the zoning ordinance. Both uses are not permitted in local business C1 zoning districts. The uses are permitted with a conditional use permit in the general business C2 zoning district. The Planning Commission may wish to discuss if the change requested complies with the Eaton County Master Plan, or if an error has occurred which justifies the proposed amendment. Specifically, the Planning Commission must address these issues as well as items A through G in section 13.6, which is located on page 5 of this report. Also included, I do have a copy of the original conditional use permit that was issued to Mr. David Pennell from August 16th of 1974. I did not include it in the staff report because I did not find the physical copy until after it went out. And that completes the staff report.
Is there any questions of staff?
So the part that makes us a C2 is the sales part of the statement, right? Because light auto body and light repair is a use under C1, but it's the sales part that makes it a C2?
He doesn't wish to be a light auto body. He wishes to be a full-on repair business as P&K currently is, and a newer used car dealer as well. Both uses require C2 zoning.
Gotcha. Yeah, the sales part is what caught my eye, but the change to the full repair. Okay.
Any other questions of staff? Seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and state their case, add anything they feel is necessary.
Thank you for being here this evening. My name is Raymond Charles, owner of Island Auto Body, and I don't have anything to add to that. If you have questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Are there any questions for the applicant? Ms. Brandy gave us all the information. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Yep, you see Brandy talking.
Scott Wilson, Eaton Rapids Township Supervisor. We support the application. Look forward to him being in the township.
Any questions for Scott? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners. I'll entertain a motion.
We always look at Ben for the ones that you have to address all the A through Gs, but I'll give it a shot if you want. All
As
right.
a reminder, this motion is a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners.
Okay. I move that we make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners on DCA -9-25-2 for approval. Article 13.6, considerations that must be satisfied. A, what if any identifiable conditions have changed? I don't know that there are any identifiable conditions. But B, if there was an error, it seems like this was maybe an oversight on this when it was rezoned later in 81, considering it was legal nonconformity in 1974. I don't know that there are any precedents from this. I don't believe that it adversely affects environmental conditions of the value since it's similar to what's there already. Point E, impacted the ability of the county or other governmental agencies to provide adequate services. Again, no impact because it's what's there already. Generally complies with the adopted Eaton County Development Plan. I believe you mentioned that it was the master plan was already master planned for C2 and should therefore be that way anyway. And G, it seems like if we don't allow this, that the reasonable economic use would be gone. So basically, allowing that under G would be necessary for the reasonable economic use of the property.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Guy Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Lisa Lewitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
So, Mr. Charles, the Planning Commission has recommended approval of your application to be given to the Board of Commissioners. As you and I have talked, the Public Works and Human Services Committee, which is a subcommittee of the Board of Commissioners, will be meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I will have the recommended resolution to them prior to 9 a.m. to consider to move on to the September 17th Board of Commissioners meeting. You're welcome.
Okay, when staff is ready, if we could have the staff report for DCA-9-25-3, please.
A request by the Eaton County Planning Commission to amend the Eaton County Land Development Code zoning ordinance. Amendments are proposed to the following: Article 3, Administration and Enforcement, amend Section 3.8. Article 7, Land Development Districts, amend Sections 7.31, 7.32, and 7.4A6. And Article 14, Specific Provisions and Requirements, amend Section 14.274, Application Requirements, Item D. This request was sent out for site plan review. The Eaton Conservation District commented that they did not have any concerns. Apparently, I forgot to actually write this in here. Eaton Township approved the request. Eaton Rapids Township, it says denied. That is not true. They actually approved the request. Eaton Rapids Township Board discussed and has no concerns with the text amendment DCA 925-3, proposed text amendment to the Eaton County zoning ordinance. The Planning Commission, all amendments to be considered by the Planning Commission shall include, but not limited to, under Article 13.6 of the Eaton County Land Development Code, items A through D. Items E, F, and G are not applicable to text amendments. Those are only for map amendments. So when a motion is made, Section 13.61, items A through D need to be addressed. All recommendations are made to the Eaton County Board of Commissioners. On to the proposed text amendment, page 3. Proposed change to Article 3, Administration and Enforcement, Section 3.8, Enforcement Violations Penalties, to amend the fines and civil infractions amount reflected in the June 21st, 2025 approved fee schedule. So the proposed dollar amount changes directly match our approved fee schedule. On to page 6. Proposed change to limited agricultural section 7.31, intent and purpose, to remove single family from the definition. So the intent and purpose for limited ag would read, this district is primarily intended for agricultural operations and the limited development of very low density dwellings. So we're proposing to remove the word single family. In addition, propose a change to limited agricultural section 7.3.2, uses permitted by right, to include duplex dwellings. And then proposed change to low density residential section 7.4A6, animals, to remove the word livestock to allow for the keeping of chickens and other livestock. So that's our low density residential district. A lot of legislation is coming forth regarding the keeping of chickens. This not only restricts or prevents most properties that are zoned low-density residential for keeping chickens, it's also not in line with the Right to Farm Act. On page 9, proposed change to section 14.27, communication towers and antennas, subsection 14.274, application requirements, item D, to remove the application fee from the language and increase the escrow fee. So the escrow fee of $1,000 is to ensure that when when a cell tower application is sent out for review, that we have the funds available to pay for that review. And I don't foresee having a change to our fee schedule, but I think it's just safer to leave it at our fee schedule for that. which is the $800 for the application. And that completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff?
So when someone makes a motion, they have to explore this criteria for amendments for all of these different amendments? Or just generally?
It can just be general. So you would be making you'd have discussion, and if the planning commission so chooses to, it would be the one motion and the one criteria, A through D, for 13.6.1.
I think these all make sense to me. Anybody? Move DCA 925-3. There are no identifiable conditions that have changed. These are small errors in the previous ordinance that are being cleaned up. See the references to livestock and single-family buildings related to duplexes, so they're just more refinements of our existing ordinance than errors. No precedents that will have negative effects. No impact on the county services.
Support.
We have a motion support. Any other discussion? Seeing none, if we could get a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Tim Terrell.
Yes.
Lisa Lewitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker, Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes. Okay. Next, we'll move on to PA 116 applications.
There are none.
Okay. Any other business?
No.
How about reports?
I did fail and did not send you guys the Public Works and Human Services report again. Staff and the Controller's Office, along with Chairman Mott, met with our 11 existing townships that we perform planning and zoning services for on September 26th to continue August 26th, to continue discussions regarding an intergovernmental agreement to continue planning and zoning services. So we know that Eaton Township is publicly asking their township residents how they would like to move forward. Not sure where all the other townships fall. Calamo Township already signed the first draft agreement, so they're expected to sign the second one. So I'll be reaching out to the townships this week. Chris and I have both offered to go to their subsequent September meetings, but only by request. We try to go to a couple of jurisdictions meetings a month, but out of respect for the townships, we don't want to go unless they actually invite us. We want them to be able to have free conversations regarding this contract. So that's where we are with the planning and zoning services.
Okay, we did not have a zoning ordinance committee meeting this month. We are gonna have one we did not have one last month. We will have one this month.
Correct.
What was the date of that? Did we set one?
They're on the third Tuesday of the month, typically at 4 o'clock, but I do believe that I'll be requesting for a meeting at 3 o'clock for the September meeting.
Good, that sounds like we'll be busy. Board of Appeals did not meet tonight.
Correct, due to lack of business.
Public comments? No public here. Upcoming cases?
There are two conditional use permit applications. One is for a daycare in Eaton Township. The other one is for another commercial rec facility in Eaton Township. I do not typically send the entire planning commission conditional use permit applications ahead of time, except this application is quite large. Complies with zoning ordinance requirements, but it's quite large, so I wanted to make sure that the planning commission had enough time to review it and develop whatever questions they may have. There's also an application for a district change amendment to rezone a property in Calamo Township.
Okay. We'll I'll entertain a motion now. If someone would like.
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
Support.
Motion support. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.